I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about the expansion at Giga Berlin and whether or not it's moving full steam ahead. But first, let's roll that title.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. I want to talk a little bit about this article Casey and I spotted earlier in the week. And this is an article that's about the Giga Berlin expansion plans.
Did the terrorists win?
That's right. That's right. Like, we've known about this expansion plan for quite some time. Tesla has been out in the media trying to convince people that in the general area that this is going to benefit them. They certainly got the business leaders behind them on this. They talked to the residents of the town to say, listen, we're not going to burn too many more resources. We're going to stay within the water limits that we have subscribed to. That's not going to change. We're bringing in more and more employees, which is employing people from and around the town. We're providing training for these jobs. Again, bringing locals in, employing them here. And we want to double the amount of vehicles that we produce at Giga Berlin. And we heard about the forest warriors stopping them or trying to stop them, attacking the fence line, being out in the forest, hunkering down in tree forts. Again, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're kind of misguided as to what they're doing, but I guess they're having fun. But it's all these things that Tesla has been trying to promote the idea of expanding the plant. We've always known they wanted to do this. They produced, they presented their plans. And the council basically accepted and said, yes, okay, so there's going to have to be an environmental assessment. That was performed. They passed that. Now we're at the point where construction can almost begin. But this article that we pulled from Tesla Roddy indicates that the expansion plans are going to be limited on the increase in sales that they're going to get. So it sounds like similar to what we've heard in Giga Mexico, that there is a bit of a slowdown that Tesla is anticipating, or that they can see in their sales numbers. And of course, as different tariffs and things are applied in Europe, where this plant is, maybe that will change the perspective. If they can't import, say, Model 3s from Shanghai, maybe that will change the plan slightly. Maybe it won't. But it seems like Tesla's being very cautious with the money that they're spending. And obviously, it's a great deal of money they would be spending on doubling the plant's abilities. That's new buildings, new infrastructure. All that has to be put in place. It's going to cost them quite a bit of money to get that up and producing vehicles. And then, of course, you've got the ramp that it typically takes, half a year to a year to get up to speed. And if you're not selling that amount of vehicles and you can't run the line at full capacity or close to full capacity, the question becomes, are those vehicles actually contributing to the bottom line, or are they dragging you down a little bit because they are costing more to put out because you're not selling as many? So what do you think, Casey? What do you think is going on here?
Well, I know that the folks who are complaining that Tesla's using the sewer pipe too heavy, they will be disappointed this is going through. And the folks who don't believe in any personal transportation, they'll also be concerned that this is going through. But I think that with the measures that Tesla mentioned they were going to take, that the others, we can get them to come around and see this for what it is, especially since it replaces fossil cars. I'm concerned. Elon, the way he likes to save money with these sorts of things, it sounds like, like he grew up in 1929 or something, because I'm wondering how much burn rate does the company have that he really pulls it tight whenever he's afraid that something's going to happen. And I'm curious, why not build the expansion and build Giga Mexico and then not turn them on? Because construction and real estate don't generally get cheaper unless he's expecting it to have a major drop and somehow get it for cheaper in the future. But usually, by the time he realizes he needs it, it'll be more expensive.
Yeah. Here's a quote from Tesla Giga Berlin's plant manager, Andre Thurig. He indicated that we will not spend several billion on the expansion of the factory without the signals being clear that the market is asking for this. End quote. So is this them looking at sales figures? Is this them looking at the current, the current slowdown in EV purchases across the board in Europe, in North America, in Asia? Is this something that they're reading the tea leaves? Like I as you mentioned, Casey, typically you don't put a pause on the build of a plant unless you have very clear data that's showing you that the demand's not going to be there for the cars you're going to produce in this new expansion. And like we said, this is no small expansion. This is doubling the plant's ability to produce. So we're going from 500,000 cars a year to 1,000,000 cars a year when the expansion's complete. So
there's one plant. Yeah.
This is interesting. Like, as you mentioned, Giga Mexico's in the same boat. They're not moving ahead because of the election that's only a few months away. They don't know which way an administration may go or come from different angles. They could be looking at the EV incentive in North America or in America is completely cut out. They don't know what's going to happen. So the uncertainty is large there.
Yeah,
I would say that
the EV slowdown so far last quarter, wasn't Tesla the only one who had a slowdown? Everybody else had an increase. Now I know some of the ones that were making like 12 cars to make 24 cars is percentage wise huge, but Tesla, it was nothing.
But in reality, it's nothing.
Yeah, and then some of the other competitors, they went from like 3,000 to 8,000 or something like that. But I'm just curious what they're looking at for signals. It doesn't look as bad as Elon and crew were screaming that it could be, and yet we see moves like this. It's kind of baffling.
Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of headwinds they're able to spot with the data. Obviously, the data they're getting is how many cars they produce, how many cars they sell, and how long they sit around before they sell. So that's the only data that they have.
And all of them.
Yeah. So they're it just may be that they're not selling quick enough, or is this a PR move by the plant manager to maybe misdirect or to maybe say to the community, you really have to want us in order for us to put a couple $2 billion into this new plant. Maybe it's trying to buy some favor with the locals as they're broadcasting this, because of course this is not Elon speaking. This is the Giga Berlin plant manager. So
it's a shame that this production went to Austin or Shanghai. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Now, if the headwinds of tariffs continue, and we see that Europe is now accepting some of these tariffs, we see that North America may be accepting some of these tariffs on Chinese vehicles. So that may hurt Tesla in the way that Giga Shanghai can't ship or export as freely as they have been recently to Europe and other places. Then maybe this becomes a factor, and a Model 3 line in Europe that's not taxed as heavy is something that would make sense. So that's certainly something Tesla would react to. But Shanghai is already taxed on the Model 3s that are coming into Europe at a lower rate than some others. But this could be something that could change their mind, depending on what tariff rules come into play for vehicles that are produced at Tesla Shanghai and shipped to Europe.
Sure, they did just have several major elections in Europe, and they probably have some more coming. We've got the big one here in the States. When's your guys' next cycle?
Our next cycle is in 2 years.
2 years. And then I think Mexico just did a little something. So they might be trying to see where they get the least amount of labor plus the inputs. Like you said, this could be kind of a trying to get them to fight against each other for the next Gigafactory expansion rather than the next straight up Gigafactory. I'll be curious to watch how this plays out, and I certainly hope that, like I said, it just feels like he's so afraid of 1929. I'm hoping that he's wrong on that, and they are still well positioned to be able to mobilize the construction force and get the resources they need to spin up as it happens. It's just baffling to me, like why not have an empty building ready to put everything into?
Exactly.
Then you don't even have to air condition it because it'll be partitioned from the rest of it.
And for those that don't know, Brandenburg State Office for the Environment had approved Tesla to start construction last month. And the approval does not include any permission to cut down more trees from the forest near Giga Berlin, which I don't think was required.
Yeah.
And the permissions are broken into several different parts. Tesla is awaiting for the second part of the permit approval. It was postponed last month, so they're waiting for that. But we know that when Tesla first built Giga Berlin, they were ahead of the approvals. So they were actually in danger if the permitting people didn't like what they saw. They were in danger of having to tear it down and start over again.
Or pay millions in fines.
Certainly this time around that they're already producing vehicles, they're going to be a little bit more cautious, and they're going to probably follow the permitting rules a little bit closer than they did the first time around, because they wouldn't want it to impact the 500,000 vehicles that they're making this year.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious if they would build Optimus locally as well. Here's your robots. And then
why not? Why not? Because you know, there's probably no tariffs on importing robots yet. Right. But when it becomes a viable market sector, when people are actually participating, other companies are participating, that is going to be definitely a tariff item. If other companies are producing a robot that are local to that particular area or country, I could definitely see that, just like cars.
Yeah, and then you've got the robotaxi coming up. I'm wondering if it's just a matter of they don't know what they want to build in there. Because if Elon's right about robotaxi, then you won't need as many Model Ys. And if you're built up only for Model Y, then you'll have to tear it all down and redo that section that you just built up. So I can kind of see that. But
yeah,
Europe
but
is
of course,
slower.
Berlin is just producing the Model Y, which of course is the highest selling vehicle in the world. So they've got a great SKU to build. No problem there with the product that they've got to sell.
Yeah, it's not like they're building Model X Plaid.
It's something that they're having a great time with, and obviously that they're thinking that demand is going to increase somewhat. But is it going to double? I don't know. That this plant manager is kind of throwing up some different signals. Again, it's not coming from Elon, but so maybe this is for local consumption. Certainly, it caught the ears of Teslarati and others because they report on all Tesla activity, whether it's North America or Europe or Asia. So I guess we're going to have to see if more of this comes or if there's more talk about it from others within the company.
Did this news come out after we found out about whatever Japan was doing with the stock market and what the Fed decided on the rates, or was this out there?
This happened on August the 4th.
Okay, so before.
Yeah. So
I was kind of hoping it'd be that.
Well, let's see what happens. Certainly, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up on the video. Press that subscribe. It helps us out immensely. And in the comments, why don't you tell us what you think this message is for? Is it for local consumption? Is it for everyone? Is it for somebody targeted that we didn't mention? Please let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Love to hear from you.
Definitely.
Casey, any shout outs for us at the end of the show?
Yeah, in 2 more days, you can catch us live on the Tesla Live show right here, same place, same time. And we look forward to doing
Wednesdays. Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
The button moved on me. See y'all next time.